Hello, 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 hello. If you're out there listening for the quiz, put yourself up in the chat and we'll see who we've got. Hi, Richard. Bonjour, indeed. Okay, June. Well, the bad news is we've got no Eddie. Carol's tuning in, but she's not posting scores because our Eddie's not there. And Dawn said last week she was on holiday, so we'll get Stephen. There's only going to be the 3 years. Never mind. As long as we get Stephen. There's Stephen there, man. No fear of steady men, Stephen. And Jeanette, of course, and we've forgotten. I'll tell you before we start, there'll be no quiz next week. Because we booked a lovely sunny away day. Well, 4 days to Stratford-upon-Avon and the Chilterns on a bus trip. Well, it looks like I'm just going to be getting soaking wet in Stratford rather than soaking wet in Jarrah. But hey ho, but I won't be here next week, okay? I'll give you tonight's subjects. You've got general knowledge, geography, pop and history, TV and sport. It's back June. Food and drink and films. Your last two, words and literature. So we'll make a start with round one on general knowledge. Question one. What's the name of the cowboy in the Toy Stories films? What's the name of the cowboy in the Toy Story films? Question two. Which chess piece can move only diagonally? Which chess piece can only move diagonally? Excuse me. Question three. What does a barometer measure? What does a barometer measure? Question four. Which planet is closest to the sun? Which planet is closest to the sun? Question five. Which mountain city is known as the Mile High City? Which mountain city is known as the Mile High City? Excuse me. Question two on geography. In which American city would you find O'Hare International Airport? In which US city would you find O'Hare International Airport? Question 2. As in the famous song Girl from Ipanema, in which country is Ipanema? As in the famous song Girl from Ipanema, in which country is Ipanema? Question 3. What is the name of the strait that divides New Zealand into northern and southern parts? What's the name of the strait that divides New Zealand into northern and southern parts? Excuse me. Question 4. In which Indian city would you find the Taj Mahal? In which Indian city would you find the Taj Mahal? And question 5. Which Asian country was once called Siam? Which Asian country was once called Siam? We've got all the answers. Send us already. Richard's ready. June ready. And Stephen ready. Excuse me. We have general knowledge. The cowboy in Toy Story was called Woody. It's the bishop that can only move diagonally in chess. A barometer measures air pressure. The planet closest to the sun is Mercury. And the American mile-high city is Denver. Denver, Colorado. Geography. O'Hare International Airport serves Chicago. As in the song, The Girl from Ipanema. Ipanema is in Brazil. The strait that divides New Zealand into north and south is the Cook Strait. You find the Taj Mahal in the city of Agra, Agra. And the Asian country once called Siam was Thailand. And then you've got your scores, send them through. Richard 5. June 6. And Stephen 6. Much more difficult than I thought, obviously. Okay, we'll give you what should be slightly easier, I think. Sorry, round up the scores. Richard's on 5, June's on 6, Stephen on 6. Question 3 is pop music, all 5 parts. Quite simply, name 5 of the 6 roles taken on by members of the Village People. Name 5 of the 6 identities of the Village People. What sort of people did they dress as? You need to sort of work that one out. Excuse me. Okay, be thinking of them as I ask it round 4 questions. Pause on history. It's actually American history. Question 1. Who landed at Plymouth Rock in December 1620? Who landed at Plymouth Rock in December 4, 1620? Question 2. What did the Americans purchase from Russia in 1867? What did the Americans purchase from Russia in 1867? Excuse me. Question 3. Which general commanded the Union forces for most of the American Civil War? Which general commanded the Union forces for most of the American Civil War? Question 4. Where did Davy Crockett meet his death in 1836? Where did Davy Crockett meet his death in 1836? And question 5. In which battle did General Custer have his last stand? In which battle did General Custer have his last stand? When you've got your answers, send us ready. Tune's ready. Richard's ready. And Stephen's ready. Okay, Pop, you wanted 5 of the 6 roles taken on by members of the village people. Any 5 from Indian, Red Indian, cowboy, a construction worker, a cop, a baker, and a soldier. Soldier, baker, cop, construction worker, cowboy, and Indian. And American history. Who landed at Plymouth Rock in December 1620? That was the Pilgrim Fathers. In 1867, America purchased Alaska from Russia. The general that commanded the Union forces for most of the American Civil War was General Ulysses S. Grant. Davy Crockett met his death at the Alamo in 1836. And Custer's last stand was at the Battle of the Little Bighorn. Battle of the Little Bighorn. Send your scores through. Richard 7 gives you 12. Ooh, June 10 gives you 16. Cracking round. And Stephen 6 gives you 12. Stephen and Richard on 12, and June's taking a 4-point lead there on 16. Okay, question 5 is on TV. It's on soaps. Question 1. Which actor is the only member of the original Coronation Street cast who is still in the show? Who's the only member of the original Coronation Street cast who's still in Coronation Street? It's the name of the actor you want. Question 2. What was Britain's first medical soap and also the first serial to be shown twice weekly? What was Britain's first medical soap, which was also the first serial to be shown twice weekly? Excuse me. Question 3. Which pop star played Beth in Neighbours between 1991 and 1993? Which pop star played Beth in Neighbours between 1991 and 1993? Question 4. In Brookside, which character murdered her father and buried him under the patio? In Brookside, which character murdered her father and buried him under the patio? Question 5. In which of the following soap operas has Oscar-winning actor Russell Crowe appeared? Did he appear in Neighbours, Home and Away, or The Flying Doctors? Which of those soaps has Russell Crowe appeared? Neighbours, Home and Away, or The Flying Doctors? Here, question 6 is on sport. Question 1. Which boxer did Muhammad Ali fight in the Rumble in the Jungle? Was it George Foreman or Joe Frazier? Which boxer did Muhammad Ali fight in the Rumble in the Jungle? George Foreman or Joe Frazier? It's nice either or questions for you, these two. Question 2. Which sport takes place in a velodrome? Is it swimming or cycling? Which sport takes place in a velodrome? Swimming or cycling? You're welcome. Question 3. How many points are awarded for a touchdown in American football? Is it 5 or 6? How many points are awarded for a touchdown in American football? 5 or 6? Question 4. Which Formula One team did Lewis Hamilton compete for from 2007 to 2012? Was it McLaren or Mercedes? Which Formula One team did Lewis Hamilton compete for from 2007 to 2012? McLaren or Mercedes? Excuse me. And question 5. In karate, what color belt comes right before black? Is it yellow or is it brown? As you move through and you get higher up the order in karate, what color belt comes just before black? Is it yellow or brown? And you got your answers. Send us the ready. Richard, lady who? Richard ready. Andrew's ready. Yeah, you always got to be careful of those autocorrects, Richard. And Stephen's ready. Excuse me. Okay, TV, the only member of the original Coronation Street cast is William Roach and Bill Roach. First medical soap, and the first twice weekly, was Emergency Ward 10. Beth in Neighbours between 91 and 93 was played by Natalie Imbruglia. In Brookside, the character that murdered her father and buried him under the patio was Beth Jordash. And Russell Crowe has appeared in Neighbours. Sport, Muhammad Ali fought George Foreman in the Rumble in the Jungle. The sport that takes place in a velodrome is cycling. The touchdown in American football gives you 6 points. And you get 1 point for the point after. Excuse me. Lewis Hamilton competed for McLaren between 2007 and 2012. And in karate, just before you're a black belt, you are a brown belt. Brown. Richard 9 gives you 21 cracking score. June 7 gives you 23. And Stephen 8 gives you 20. So we've got Stephen on 20, Richard on 21, and June on 23. As we go into food and drink. Question 1. Aduki, Borlotti, and Cannellini are types of what? Aduki, Borlotti, and Cannellini are types of what? This is on food and drink. Question 2. What is the most expensive spice in the world by weight? What is the most expensive spice in the world by weight? Excuse me. Question 3. What spirit is mixed with ginger beer in a Moscow Mule? What spirit is mixed with ginger beer in a cocktail known as a Moscow Mule? Question 4. The syrup grenadine is obtained from which fruit? The syrup grenadine is obtained from which fruit? And question 5. In what region of France is a claret wine produced? In what region of France is a claret wine produced? Okay, question 8 is films. Oscars. Question 1. Who won the Best Supporting Actress Oscar in 1998, despite only being on the screen for a total of 8 minutes? who won the Best Supporting Actress Oscar in 1998, despite only being on the screen for a total of 8 minutes. Question 2. Who was nominated for Best Producer, Best Director, Best Actor, and Best Writer for the same movie in 1941? Who was nominated for Best Producer, Director, Actor, and Writer for the same movie in 1941? Question 3. Who won the first posthumous Best Actor Oscar award for the film Network in 1976? Who won the first posthumous Best Actor Oscar award for the film Network in 1976? Question 4. Which 1959 epic movie won 11 Oscars? Which 1959 epic movie won 11 Oscars? And question 5. Who is the only actor to be Oscar nominated twice posthumously for Best Actor in 1956 and 1957? Who is the only actor to be Oscar nominated twice posthumously for Best Actor in 1956 and 1957? You've got your answers. Senders are ready. Richard's ready. Oh, well. You only try your best, Richard. Stephen's ready. and Jews, really. Okay, food and drink. Duki, Borlotti, and Cannellini are all types of beans. Most expensive spice in the world by weight is saffron. The Moscow Mule is ginger beer and vodka. Grenadine is made from pomegranates, and the claret wine comes from Bordeaux, the Bordeaux region. Film Oscars, a supporting actress Oscar winner in 1998, despite only being on the screen for 8 minutes. Film was Shakespeare in Love. The actress was Dame Judi Dench. Best producer, best director, best actor, and best writer for the same movie in 41. That was Citizen Kane and Orson Welles. First posthumous Best Actor Oscar award was won for the film Network in 1976 by Peter Finch. The 1959 epic movie that won 11 Oscars was Ben-Hur. And the only actor to be Oscar nominated twice posthumously for Best Actor in 1956 and again in 1957 was James Dean for East of Eden and Giant. He only made about 5 films altogether, didn't he? And you got your scores, send them through. Richard 6 gives you 27. June 7 gives you 30, I think, June. Oh, and Stephen, sorry, I missed Stephen there. Stephen got 7, gives you 27. But Richard and Stephen on 27, and June's on 30. Oh, June, yours is 8. You're right, I was looking at the wrong place. I was looking for Stephen. Sorry, my dear, it's 31. Puts you 4 points in the lead. As we go into the last 2 rounds. Question 9 is on words, connections. What connects the following list of words? It could be anything at all, but there's a connection between the 3 words. First one, Ball, Brown, and Charlton. Ball, Brown, and Charlton. Second one, political, surprise, and dinner. Political, surprise, and dinner. Number 3, fathom, cable, and knot. Fathom, cable, and knot. K-N-O-T. Excuse me. Number 4, kiss, raspberry, and fuse. Kiss, raspberry, and fuse. F-U-S-E. And 5, ballot, passage, and agent. Ballot, passage, and agent. Question 10 is literature. I don't know whether this is hard or not because I don't read a lot of books myself, but these are all fairly well-known things, mainly from TV, but all did originate in books. So the first one, who wrote the books on which Game of Thrones was based? Who wrote the books on which Game of Thrones was based? Question 2, who wrote the Hunger Games novels? Who wrote the Hunger Games novels? Question 3, who wrote the novels on which The Handmaid's Tale was based? Who wrote the novels on which The Handmaid's Tale was based? Question 4, who wrote the His Dark Materials novels? Who wrote the His Dark Materials novels? That was serialized on the TV. Very good, that was. I enjoyed His Dark Materials. And 5, who wrote the Poldark novels? Who wrote the Poldark novels? That might be a toughie, that one. Although they're quite well known. When you've got your scores, or when you've got your answers, just send us a ready. Stephen's ready. Richard ready? And June ready. Okay, the answers. Question 9. Words, the connections. Paul Brown and Charlton, are all famous bobbies. Political, surprise and dinner. Types of party. Political party, surprise party, dinner party. Fathom, cable, and knot are all nautical measurements. Or nautical. If you put nautical, I would give you that. Kiss, raspberry, and fuse. This was a good one. I like this one. I don't know if you heard it or not. They're all things that can be blown. Blow a kiss, you blow a raspberry, and you can blow a fuse. Ballot, passage, and agent, things that can be secret. Secret ballot, a secret passage, and a secret agent. Literature. The books on which Games of Thrones was based was written by George R.R. Martin. The Hunger Games novels were written by Suzanne Collins. The Handmaid's Tale books written by Margaret Atwood. There's Dark Materials written by Philip Pullman. And Poldark written by Winston Graham. Your Uncle Winston. So when you get your scores, send them through. To be a near catastrophe for June to lose this one, Nick, but never mind. We've got a 4-point lead as it stands, June. Richard, 7 gives you 34. June, 7 gives you 38. Stephen Baxter, 6, 34. No, 33. You weren't hopeless, Stephen, man. Just not as good as the rest. So I've got Stephen on 33, Richard on 34, and June, a massive 4-point lead on 38. Well done, June. Okay, as I say, we won't have a quiz next week because I'm going to get rained on in Stratford and the Cotswolds instead of Jarrah. Just before this, I was online buying me holiday gear, a cagoule and some over trousers. But anyway, thanks, Richard. I will do, Stephen. Thanks, June. See you when I come back. Okay, hope you all enjoyed that. We'll see you not next week, hopefully the week after. Bye now.